Hello, everybody. I can tell just by looking at this that it is not public as usual. I swear I just don't understand what happens with StreamYard. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Well, it says public, but I can't. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I got to wait for somebody to comment. 7 minutes until showtime. I got about 7 minutes until showtime with Blog Talk Radio, but I can always start the stream now. Hello. How are you? Hope y'all are doing pretty well. It's been a interesting day and an interesting week as usual. I tried to do this. Yeah, StreamYard. Yeah. I tried to do this out of the living room. Didn't quite work. Love you too. Now that you're moving far away from me, I don't like you anymore. No, I'm just playing. Hi. I got Kimberly. Well, she's somewhere. Not on yet. Not on. She's on here, but she's not on Blog Talk on the switchboard just yet. So 6 minutes until showtime. Got about 6 minutes. I am okay. Gosh, can we? There's so many messages going back and forth. Oh, that's right. You're going to dial 1 so I'll know that it's your little hand. You're fired, Savannah. What's the deal where you got to miss my god darn show? I don't think so. You could just put your little earbuds in and listen to me. What's more important than me and my show? She's probably already ditched me. I'm sorry. I'm looking through messages to get it all right here. Okay, I got it now. I had to find the last 4 of your phone number. 5 minutes until showtime. This gets so annoying. Let me see. Okay, I can see you there. Just so people will know this, so nobody gets upset with stuff. What I've noticed about StreamYard, I'm running it in 3 different areas. I'm running it on my YouTube channel, my Vibe Time with Geri, and my personal Facebook wall. So Savannah put, but I have to miss you, love y'all though. Well, I can't go under here and comment right away. It doesn't let me do that. I can post a comment, but it's not going to specifically tag her in that comment. If that makes sense, I don't think it's going to do that. Let me see. Because I don't want people to think that if I don't comment on something, that I'm not paying attention, because I am. It's just that the way StreamYard is set up, you don't want to 4 minutes until showtime. You don't want to have your Facebook page. How do I put it? You don't want StreamYard when you're doing a live show to be. You don't want it on Facebook right away, because then it'll lag and slow down everything. So you want to just use the StreamYard app, and that's why it kind of makes it look like that we're not commenting. But I just want y'all to know that I do pay attention to that. I have to manually go on my phone, get on Facebook Live, make sure everything is turned down so we don't have echoes, and comment that way, if that makes sense. I hope I explained that okay. Yeah, but I do Crossroads also on Thursdays with Jody and Teresa, and I just noticed that in the comment box as I started looking. Yeah. 3 minutes until showtime. I'm not gonna do it. But we can't. You gotta manually go into your Facebook and your phone, because it's not gonna let you comment on the StreamYard's comments board. If I'm making any sense at all. I'm a little mushy today. And I'm trying to get cozy. This is my room. I can't flip everything around, but this is where, I would used to sit and talk to spirit in this little closet. Let me see if I can flip it. Yeah, right there. when I was little. I look in there now and I'm like, dang, how did I was able to fit in there? I couldn't fit my tail in there now. Good Lord. So, Kim, we got about 2 minutes. We're always going live on StreamYard, but I got to wait for Blog Talk. And that's 8. So I got 2 minutes. Showtime. So y'all, David Flowers and I are doing a Paranormal 101 class March 4th in Williamsburg at the Manor House. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a $50 ticket. $50 ticket. I'm sorry. And it's going to cover a lot of things. It's going to cover not just, the do's and don'ts with the paranormal. It's going to cover the metaphysical side of things. You're going to get your you're going to get a smudge kit with that. And his wife is custom making dowsing rods. So it's going to be really, really cool. So whoever signed up for that class needs to, message. Well, I already know who has signed up for the class, but we still have seats. So there are limited seats for the class, just to let people know. And then that's what I got so far is our class. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun because it's from 7 to 2. So you're not going to just be, you know what? I forgot to mute on the switchboard. Dumbass. I swear I do some messed up stuff. It's not going to just be where you're sitting in a class the whole time. It's an investigation included. So, and you have equipment included. So it's not like you have to go out and get your own equipment and bring it. It's all that's included in this whole thing that David Flowers and I are doing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. That's March 4th. Anybody want to sign up? Message myself or message David Flowers, and we'll get you in the right direction for that. So, with that said, I can't believe I did that. I'm sitting here talking the whole time, and I'm on Blog Talk switchboard, so I'm not even muted. I see you. Let me see. I do. I see your little hand. It's so cute.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Watch it be the short version. Hi, I can't see who's tuning in either. I know that Ashley is here, Kimberly's here. I know my sister's she calls in because her internet sucks. So please, in the comments, put who you are and where you're from so I know who's tuning into the show. I would greatly appreciate it. All I can see is that there's 5 people that like it, or 3 people that like it, and 5 people in the live so far. I love my seal. It's just that is my theme song for Vibe Time. It's just me. Got to be a little crazy sometimes. Can't be all uppity and serious all the time. Hi, Quinn. Oh my goodness. I'd like to welcome everybody to Vibe Time with Geri, where I'm featuring Kimberly Moxely tonight. I got her on mute right now, but I'm going to take her off of mute. So, I always say it, and for those of you tuning in, if you want to find out about the paranormal events in Virginia, just go to John Stevens' Virginia Paranormal Events page. He puts everything out there. Pretty much any event that is like paranormal related or haunted related, you can put that on his page. He doesn't have a problem with you sharing it as long as it's, just appropriate stuff. He also has a website, www.virginiaparanormalevents.com, which that I think is a little bit more detailed than the Facebook page, according to him. So, y'all, if you want to know where the latest paranormal events are, just go to Virginia Paranormal Events. I've got Kimberly, Ashley, Ashberry, oh my God, get it right, Geri, Moxley, holding. Now, Kimberly and I do Old House Woods together, but we haven't been there for a while because we haven't been there for a while. But we will be going back. See, I got her on mute, so I can now talk all this smack. So anyway, we want to go back soon, I hope. Right, Kim? Soon? Hope. having Old House Woods withdrawal. I know it's cold. I have heat. Since when did that stop us? So anyway, we have done quite a few little investigations down at Old House Woods, and we've had a blast doing it. But she also makes these beautiful candles that I have at my house for sale currently, chakra candles, decorated or not. She just does a multitude of things. So she's a parapsychologist, which she can get into a little bit of that to explain that, because not everybody knows what parapsychology is. And she's also a paranormal investigator, amongst other things. She's got so many little titles. I'll let her explain all that. But I wanted her to be on the show too, because she is hosting an event at the Hyco House. I hope I'm saying this correctly. If I'm not, Kim, I know you'll correct me on it. And that is coming up coming up Saturday from 7 to 9 o'clock. And I've always been intrigued by the Hyco House. Like when I lived in Mathews, I drove by it all the time, and now it has a new owner, so it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful place now. Before it was like, yeah, and now it's like, bing, nice. So anyway, I'm going to take her off so I stop talking, because we don't have that long before the freaks come on. Hello.
Oh, wow. I just had a dude's voice tell me I'm unmuted.
Yes, you are unmuted. Thank you, Hyco House Manor. I don't know why I leave the manor off of there. Sorry.
It's all good.
I don't know.
Hyco House Manor, Saturday, the 5th, from 7 to 10. I'm having a pure romance party by Mandy Moran. She's an awesome vendor. She has done this for ages, comes highly recommended. And also, my friend Michaela Stanley Photography is running a Boudoir photo session for those of you that would like to take some nice little photos for your hubby or your boyfriend or for whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's booking those the day of the event, which is Saturday, and also Sunday. Okay. So if you would like to do photos and get all that fancy stuff done, you can go contact Michaela Stanley Photography, and she will hook you up with a session at Hyco. And then Saturday evening between 7 to 10, we're having the actual pure romance party.
Yes, that's the one I'm going to.
Anyone's invited.
That's the one I'm going to.
Yeah, anyone's invited. Females only. It's a ladies only weekend. No men, and you have to be above 18.
No men allowed. Y'all are banned from the event. All right, so I'm trying to look at everything, because I looked at the flyer. When I looked at the flyer, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the different things on your flyer where it has the pure romance party on here, and it says please RSVP to this event 804, and it gives the phone number. So is it 7 to 9 or 7 to 10? Because this flyer says 7 to 9.
Nope, 7 to 10.
7 to 10. Y'all got that? I'll make some corrections on my stuff. I tried to tag the Hyco House, because they have their Facebook page, and I went to go tag it when I put my information in, but it's not letting me tag it for whoever's doing that page to be able to see it. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
no,
yeah.
It's 7 to 10.
7 to 10. Okay.
The reason we need an RSV is because I need to know what kind of head count I've got for the food and all of that fun stuff. Oh, and I'm also doing a raffle basket at the party.
Okay.
The raffle is $5 a ticket. You can buy as many as you want, and the basket has like $100 worth of products and gift certificates for self-care for women. It's loaded.
Really
I don't know,
nice.
Geri, if I sent you the whole list of everything that's in there. But I mean, this is premium stuff. This isn't like Dollar General stuff or Walmart crap.
Right.
This is,
No, it's nice. It's really nice stuff. Yeah. You got some nice stuff
I'm
in there.
touching everything.
Yeah. It's really nice stuff in
Everything
there.
in there is for your face, for your body, for your nails, for your toes, for your hair, everything.
So I expect to see y'all
Head to
there.
toe, even a washcloth and a hand towel.
Nice. Nice. So Kim,
So yeah, that's
on that RSVP, are they because I know I was sent a link and all I did was signed up through the link. Where is that at?
That is on the Hyco House Manor page.
Okay, let me go
You
on.
click on that Facebook page, and you have to scroll down through all the posts.
Okay.
And what you're looking for is the Pure Romance post with Mandy Moran. You click on that, and it will have both the hookup to Michaela's photography and the RSVP link for the party.
Okay.
Yes, Ashley, you're going to be there. I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, I'm looking through it now because maybe I can pull it off of here and share it to my page. I know I see the flyer for it. That I found because it's the one that says we are looking forward to February. Here's what we have going on. So it just gives the list of everything in February.
That's just the calendar flyer.
Right. I'm scrolling and looking through the rest of the stuff. I see paint parties and yeah, I'm trying to find it because
keep scrolling. It's beyond the paint party.
Okay.
Yeah, and Hyco, the owner is he's a really good guy. And I'm just so grateful to be given the opportunity to hold this type of event there. And, add the page. Keep mark on the events. They do everything. They do all kinds of events. I mean, I don't even know where to start. We did a Halloween thing. Then there was a Christmas Winter Wonderland. They're also doing a singles only Valentine's murder mystery. There's like a cowboy western type thing they're doing. They're really doing a lot of events, and they're fun, and it's stuff that this county's never seen before. This area, I would say. This is the first time there's ever been a adult toy party, Pure Romance, and Boudoir photography combo.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Offered to the public.
I might want to get my pictures done after all.
You can do that because she's booking the day of the event and Sunday, all day Sunday.
Oh,
so if you want
to, this would just be for
session.
Yeah, this would just be for me, like just for me, in front of the Hyco House, where I can just do my famous stance that everybody looks for, and then just that would be like a professional type, like not necessarily a professional. Well, yeah, it would be a professional type photo for my Facebook.
Yeah, Michaela's a pro at what she does. If you're worried about your body image, us women, we have kids and our bodies show it in different ways, and she has ways of hiding all of that. She can make, if you're 100 pounds overweight, she can make you look 50 to 60 pounds lighter.
Oh, nice.
She's really, really talented. I've met Michaela as a photographer for, ages. She used to go ghost hunting with me and Kevin down in Old House Woods.
Okay, that's who you talk about all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool to be able to meet her finally.
We gave her the camera because the spookies like to show up for Michaela. So,
nice.
That's where she kind of got started, and she stuck with the photography. She's got a natural eye. So she can cover all of your imperfections, if you will. And she's got a excellent makeup artist and hairstylist that works right alongside with her. And of course, all of that is included
Nice.
with your photography session.
And how much is the photography session?
I don't know, because that's not my part of, this whole event. I don't know what she charges. Standardly, I know she's, you're paying for a pro photographer.
Right.
But I don't think that that's the same rate that she gave us.
Okay.
But that is purely between you and the photographer.
Okay.
When you come out and you book your session, you tell her what you want. She's got a box full of props and outfits and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So, she has a benefit of work. And like I said, that makeup artist and hairstylist she's got, girl, takes the age away. You make you look 20, 30 years younger. You won't even recognize yourself.
Nice.
But yeah, she's really good.
Nice.
And you can go on Facebook and look up Michaela Stanley Photography and look at her work.
Right.
She's really, really good.
Cool. Yeah, I would be interested to see how much the session is, because when you go to register, I think it's just letting you, I posted it to my Facebook page, the registration link. I'm just trying to make it easy on people that that might be coming out. So I see the Night of Pure Romance. But I'm wondering if you that's the Everbright one. Yeah. I think I got it right.
Yeah, that's for Michaela.
Okay.
Also, we didn't advertise it, but I can go ahead and say that it will be a cash bar that night. And if you happen to get a little too tipsy and can't make it home, or if the drive's going to be long, I've got people that are coming from Chesterfield and Norfolk and North Carolina. So, you can get a room and stay the night.
Stay the night where?
So, those are all options.
Where are we staying?
At Hyco.
Oh, we'll just stay the night there. I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, but that's all separate. You're going to have to pay for the room and all of that. That's all separate. You don't have to do any of that to come and take part in the party.
Gotcha.
And also, if you're apprehensive, Michaela will be at the party. So if there's any questions you have, you can ask her directly.
Okay. That works.
And, of course, Mandy Moran, the vendor for Pure Romance, you can ask her, Lord, you can ask her anything.
Right. Well, I know that I've been to I went to one event, and they have it once a year in Williamsburg, or it was last year, or a couple years ago in Williamsburg before COVID hit. And it was a bunch of different vendors that got together, and everybody just kind of was able to meet each other. So we kind of did our makeup line there. And they had a romance party going on, and it was really cool because it wasn't just about toys.
Right.
It involved so many different other things, and that's what made it so cool.
Oh no, yeah. All
People
kinds of stuff.
get that mindset of it's just toys and stuff like that, and it's not. It's way more to it than that. Yeah. Yeah, pink pearl stuff. There's a lot more.
Pure Romance completely flipped their entire profile, I think, probably, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I think that's because they were kind of trying to separate themselves from the more raunchy parties, like Party Girl.
Right.
All of that stuff that sells really scary items. But yeah, but they have a lot of really. Their whole line is interesting. If you've ever been to a Pure Romance party long ago, you'll recognize certain items that they kept because they were such good sellers.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, they do all kinds of stuff now: lotions, body care. all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's what was at this one place. It wasn't just, like I said, about the vibrators and toys. It was about self-care and other things. And so that's what made it so cool. It stood out differently from everybody else. We're all adults here.
Yeah.
We can talk this stuff. All right. So y'all, Saturday, you know, go to the Hyco House page.
And there's going to be food.
There's going to be food.
Yep, and there's going to be food and games. We're going to play games.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
And all of your purchases are private. She takes orders and fills the orders there.
Okay.
But that's all done in the privacy of a separate room.
Nice.
So it's between you and her what's purchased. Nobody has to know unless you tell them.
Till it comes in the mail and somebody inadvertently opens up your package. I'm shipping all my stuff to your house.
But yeah, that's kind of, you know, it's really nice and laid back. Really, I mean, it's a great way to get into personal discovery.
Yeah.
So,
be like,
yeah,
Kim, is my package there yet? Can I come pick up my stuff?
I ain't got no package.
You
don't have to worry about that because she's got everything.
Oh, I'm sure.
So when you go into the room to make your little order, she just pulls it right out of her stock. Now, back in the day, most of the vendors wouldn't carry the more expensive items.
Oh, okay.
But not her. She carries it all.
So y'all can just make your purchase right then and there, carry it home, and you're good to go. Do I got that right? Okay.
Well, nothing sucks worse than buying something and leaving the party with nothing in hand.
True. That is true.
So, Geri, don't be sending your vibrators here. I don't want to have to be explaining. No play.
I'll send them to the pink pearl. I'll send them to the pearl.
I'll go down 2-5 and Geri and have somebody use it and then send it to you.
Yeah, that's nasty. You had to put that picture in my head. Ugh.
Oh, we've done. We used back in the day. We used to do some crazy pranks with the bands, especially if the band leader was to be known as a real whore dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would order all kinds of stuff and send all kinds of magazines and catalogs to his mail. And his wife would be like, "What the hell is this?" So yeah. We have to be. A big prankster.
Yeah, Cerise said that we're cracking her up. We have to be funny on my show. My show, y'all, is not scripted. It's just scripted.
And as serious and crappy as today is, it's got to be funny.
Yeah, you know, exactly. You know, it's not exactly a scripted show. I'm sorry. I don't have a whole line of questions sitting here in front of me going, okay, what am I going to ask next? It's not scripted. It never has. I tried it. It didn't work. It was too scripted. I'm not you know, so I don't know. But anyhow, okay, so we've got, like I said, Saturday. It's this Saturday, Manor House. Excuse me. Hyco House. Dave Flowers is going to That's because you threw the word manor in there. That's why, and it messed me up.
Yep.
Hyco House Manor. Y'all got that? David Flowers, don't kill me, please.
Yep. Add them on your Facebook page. Get the address and the phone number.
Yes.
You know, watch the events and the happenings around Hyco. There's a lot of interesting things being talked about what's going to come in the future. So,
that place, like I said,
I'm excited. Like I said, to be given the chance.
Yeah, that house has always intrigued me. I mean, when I go by it, you know, you see the different phases. Yeah, you see the different phases of it. I remember when it was like run down. Yeah, and now it's like beautiful, and it's like, wow, you drive by and you're like, ooh. You know, and you have to really
and you know,
go ahead.
Well, in the past, it was never used for anything but a home or a summer home.
Right.
And now that it's actually being used as an event venue, you know, it's the home alone is striking. I mean, where else, you know, do the public get the opportunity to go into an 1863 antebellum mansion?
Right. You don't.
And walk around.
Right. You don't.
And look.
Right.
Without somebody harping over your shoulder. Don't touch that. Don't touch that.
Right.
No. That's, you know, and it is. It's a beautiful, striking home.
Right.
And God, the landscaping they've done, and it's just really, really, it's really beautiful what they've done. They put up a fence around it for safety reasons. So when they have these events with children, you don't have to worry about them running out in the street.
Nice.
Or any of that crazy crap. It's just really nice. I've been to several events there, and it's a really cool place. And like I said, with spring coming and summer coming, whoa. You know, the owner, he's all about over the top, and that's what, you know, if I can help with that in any way, I will.
Right.
Because, you know, I will promote Hyco.
Right.
That's what I do. If I believe in the business or I believe in your venture, then
right.
I will promote. You know, and I can't say that, you know, I won't do that for a lot of places.
Right.
Because, yeah, okay, it's cool, but I'm not going to promote it.
Right.
Especially if I find out you've got seedy activity, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Hyco, you don't have that.
Right. Right.
You know, you're not, you know, it's just a wonderful environment, and the home is truly, I mean, it's beautiful.
Right.
It's really, really beautiful. If you've never had the opportunity to enter a home that looks like this, it's don't get blown away. That's all I can say. It catches a lot of people off guard because you're thinking, you have this assessment when you pull in and you see this huge house. You're thinking, oh, God, you know, you start having flashbacks of antique furniture and tacky drapes.
Right.
That's not what this is.
Right. Oh, I'm sure it's not. I'm excited.
It's beautiful.
I'm excited to go, and I'm excited to be able to go into it and see it. And because I've never been in there. Like I said, I've driven by it, and I've always been intrigued by it. Because it is a beautiful place, but to actually be allowed, and the fact that the owner is being really generous and allowing that speaks volumes to me.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Now, I will say this. I had seen her in some terrible, terrible shape back in the day, back in the 80s.
Yeah.
When the house sat vacant, me and a friend of mine actually gained access to the house through the back door because it was unlocked, left open. You know, there was 3 to 4 inches of water in the basement. We had to walk through to go up the steps to get into the house.
Right.
And it was sturdy, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't clean. It was, you know, the people that owned it may have showed up and spent 2 months in it out of the year, and that was it. And there's a whole lot of, you know, there's a lot of stories about that house that are just, they're simply untrue. And now that people are starting to dig in with the paranormal side of things and all of this sort of stuff, the Historical Society is getting involved. They're really, you know, looking at the historical value of this home. It was one of, I believe, 2 only antebellums in Mathews that survived the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
Because this entire county, they burned our courthouse. And the house sits in the courthouse area. They burned all of these big mansions and huge homes when the Union came through here.
Oh, wow. Who knew?
But it and another home further down into Mathews, Poplar Grove, I think, are the only 2 that did not burn.
That's really
And
interesting.
there's just so many. It's history, and it's just beautiful.
Right.
It really is. It's just beautiful. I can't say enough good things about it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Ugh, coughing.
And well, that's that. So, what else do you want to talk about?
Well, geez, I was loving the history of the Hyco House, but I guess you summed it all up for me in a short sentence. Can you talk a little bit about like what parapsychology is, because a lot of people don't know what that is.
It's not straightforward psychology. First of all,
Okay.
it's more of a, oh gosh, I don't even know how to fully explain that. Hold on a second. Where am I going? Hold on. I'm going off the page and going other places. I don't know why my phone is doing that. Bear with me. It's a para meaning, I guess you could say that abnormal. I'm looking for my page here.
Yeah, I was.
It's here we go. It's the study of mental phenomena, which are excluded from or explicable by orthodox scientific psychology, such as hypnosis, telepathy, metaphysics.
Gotcha.
So it's like the psychology behind things like things you would find in the paranormal world. People see ghosts. Okay, well, what's the psychology behind that? You know, telepathy. What's the psychology behind that? People have bumps and things and they say their homes are haunted, or some people say they see angels and see things. What's the psychology behind that? And that's something that not a lot of people really want to address when it comes to the paranormal, because, you know, they're not really, they don't want to look at the psychological end or edge of anything.
Right.
And I think it's really sad, because if they took the time to really question, okay, why am I seeing this? You know, and not look at the show side of everything. You know, because not all paranormal, what you see, is legitimate. I say probably 80% of what you see on TV or online is fake or misunderstood. And parapsychology, we kind of weed through all of that. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't like the ideas of, well, I don't want you getting in my head because I see ghosts.
Right. It's
not really that. A lot of people that have these issues or have these phenomena experiences are truly suffering from a mental illness, and they don't know it.
What kind of mental illness? Because I know I ain't no schizo. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. What kind of mental illnesses? Depression. Okay, that's a common one.
Yeah.
That can actually cause all kinds of problems.
So are you like one of these?
A lot of people.
Is it safe to say?
That's why the Catholic Church ran into so much problem with exorcism. Because how do you know they're truly experiencing a demonic possession and not some type of psychotic break?
True.
And it's really hard. It's really hard to weed that sort of thing out.
That's true. I mean, but you are right about that. So is it safe to say, how there's all these little people that are these debunking people? I know that Crossroads have had a lot of debunking people. Would that kind of be the same thing as a parapsychologist? Kind of.
Yeah, yeah, and I do debunk. I mean, you know that, Gary.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Just because someone comes to me and tells me I saw this, well, the first thing as a scientist is prove it.
Right.
That's why with what we go through at Old House Woods when you and I investigate, anybody can have a paranormal experience.
Right.
Okay? But it doesn't do the scientific community any good in proving it if you don't have something substantial to back it up. Because anyone can walk into a room and say, I feel a ghost. And it doesn't mean anything. You know, and I've met a lot of psychics. I studied under James Randi, and I urge anyone that likes paranormal or psychics or any of that sort of thing to please, it's for free, go watch his movie, James Randi, The Honest Liar, where he debunks all of these famous psychics right to their faces. Sylvia Brown was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he teaches you and shows you how they set you up for your event to see Sylvia Brown or Uri Geller or all of these many psychics.
Right.
And it's so funny because now that when you have knowledge and then you get online to watch some of these people that claim that they are psychic mediums, and it's bam, it becomes very evident. Oh crap, they're a fake.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that's got to worry about a debunker is a liar.
Right.
That's it.
That's true. That is true.
You know?
Well, I mean, David Flowers says it all the time.
Don't be worried about a debunker.
Yeah, David Flowers says things all the
And I
time.
will.
When we're at the manor house, if you don't have it in proof somewhere, it didn't happen. That's his attitude.
Correct. And that's very truthful. That's why when we started in Old House Woods, Kevin and I, we had such a hard time in the beginning because we were just people that were going down there, sitting there to see if we could capture anything.
Right.
You know, all we had was a flashlight, a digital recorder, and a camera. And literally, when you do investigations, that's all you really need. But any of the fancier stuff, the more detailed stuff, we just didn't have the money for that. So I tell people, too, that when you're dealing with photography and the paranormal, don't go into a situation looking through the focus eye of your camera, looking for a ghost. Don't do that. The best photography I've ever seen that's been true paranormal photography has been caught up just walking through and just snapping a picture.
Yeah.
Walk along and snap another picture.
Well, you've got quite a few pictures. You've got quite a few good pictures that we've taken in Old House Woods that you've sent to me, and we're like, "What the hell is that?"
Yep.
Yeah, quite a few.
And when you walk along and do it, if you are one of those gifted individuals that have a touch with the netherworld, or you are very knowledgeable about metaphysics and that sort of thing, you get that sense that something's looking at me or something is telling you to look over there. Raise that camera up and snap a photo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I know that we.
I've seen so many people.
I was going to say, I know that you and I've been there, and the night that we went there, and there was that dark figure that crossed the road so fast, it was impossible. The one that you saw, remember, it was impossible to catch it that quick.
And I'm still struggling, honestly, with that event, with that event that happened. Because I have never, understand, I've pushed back to 3,000 hours down there. I've never, ever seen that. And it was so close, Geri, I could have reached out and grabbed it.
Right. I remember that night, and I knew it bothered you.
Usually, like, you feel that. You feel something's not right. Something's not right. Nothing ever sneaks up on me. Well, that night, it did.
Yeah.
Because it came from behind that tree, right across the road, right in front of me and Kevin. Went into the woods, and then I stood there because I had this weird feeling that it wanted to come back across the road. And I stood there in the road, and remember I was saying, nope, you're not coming back across here.
Yes.
And I gave you and Kevin's wife a warning. I said, it's coming your way because y'all were behind the truck.
Yes.
And it circled and crossed the road right behind y'all and went off into the swamp. I don't know what that was.
Right. But
all I know is it looked like a humanoid form made out of smoke.
Yeah, and remember his personality changed slightly also.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And if you remember the EVPs that we were getting when we were running the necrophonic, all of a sudden started talking to Christine.
Yes, I remember that.
It was just, it was, and I'm still struggling, but what was that? What was it?
I don't know.
It wasn't human.
Right.
It wasn't an Indian. It wasn't somebody from Old House Woods, like a human being. This was completely, it was humanoid, arms, legs, head, body, torso, but it was all made out of smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering.
And I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, and I think I got it documented that night that we went out there with that particular night too, because I was going to say, I wonder if we go back the same day and around the same time, what would happen, just as a theory.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why I was telling you early on when we started working together, I said data.
Yeah.
For data, you can line it up later to see if it's something that correlates with that certain day or that season, that time of day. Right. You can tell a lot of things through data. And I'm a meticulous note taker. Kevin used to laugh at me because I had a pen that actually lit up. You could write in the dark with it. And I would document everything.
Right.
How long we were there, where we were at, how long we stayed at what happened, who heard what, coming from where, all of that. So you can go back through all of that and then start lining it up with dates, which is what I wanted to start doing, is going down there on dates that correlate with data.
Yeah, with the data that we have.
Again,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got
even moon phases, all of that.
Right. Yeah, because we have some data that we have started. It's but like you said, it has been a little bit cold, just ever so slightly.
Yep.
Well,
I mean, everything went down from breaking down on my end to it's just cold down there. I'm not gonna lie. Old House Woods, you're on the water.
Yeah.
So while it may be 32 degrees in Mathews Courthouse, down on the beach with that wind blowing, coming through those woods, it's below freezing.
Right. Well, yeah, but my health issue
during the winter.
Yeah, my health issue didn't help either, remember? Because I was down from November to April or May. And then you got COVID how many times?
Yeah.
Twice.
Right, twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, those situations didn't help with our stuff.
No, when Kevin and I used to go down there when it was cold, I had my van back then that had the double doors that opened. So we would go down there, hunt until we were practically frozen to death, jump back in the van to warm up, and then move to a different area, and then get out and do it all over again. So we were constantly jumping back and forth between warming up in the van and investigating.
Right.
Now, we're talking 11 years ago.
Yeah, we're getting too old for that.
Yeah, I'm like, wow,
Getting too
the
old
car
for
we've
that.
got right now doesn't have heat. So, yeah, I can't tolerate very much in that car before I lose feeling in my feet because they're frozen.
Right. True. Very true.
Yep. So, I mean, we'll look at it. It's only January. February's on the way. It'll start warming up soon.
Yeah, I know it's right around the corner. So hopefully it'll, start warming up and we can get back out there.
It'll get hopping.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will say that's very different versus winter versus any other time of the year down there is the simple fact that wintertime, everything goes to sleep. So you're not having to question whether or not you're hearing a ghost or a bird out on the swamp or a little crittering around in the woods.
Right.
They're all asleep. There's not a whole lot of, you're not dealing with bugs in your photography. You're not dealing with a lot of the problems. You can see through the woods a hell of a lot clearer during the winter.
Yeah.
You hear something in the woods and you think, oh, it might be a spook. Your stuff is going off. Raise that camera up and take a shot because the ghost you might be hearing or that may be there or entity may be 20 feet into those woods. You're not going to see that during the spring and summer.
Right.
But you will catch it during the winter.
Yeah, see, I would like to go down there before, the little flowers start blooming on the trees because I have not been down there like that in the winter when it's been cold. But, as it stands right now, it's freaking 34 degrees out there. So that would not be the smartest thing to do right now. So we would have to get it when it's...
No, you'll end up being a Geri Parapsychol.
I know. I don't want to be a Geri Parapsychol.
Yeah, we'll be calling you Parapsychol Geri.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't need to be a Parapsychol Geri, but so we'll have to look at that. I was trying to remember back to the last time you and I have actually been out there. It's been a good little bit there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's been a
Halloween.
bit. Yeah, I was going to say it's been a little while since we
around Halloween.
Yeah, since we've been out there. I was talking to you, but I was trying to look in my calendar at the same time when we were out there.
Right, because you had your son with you, and we were waiting for supposedly other people to show up, and they never did.
Right.
So we were like, screw it.
Yeah, that's right. It was on the 20th of October. So that's the last time we have been down there.
There you go.
Yeah, that's been the last time we've been down there. Yeah.
Now I've been down there on my own, working with some students from the college on sound.
Hello, Teresa.
And how that affects paranormal investigation.
Me too.
We do know that certain sound frequencies will make you do anything from see things to make your eyes vibrate, make you throw up, give you a headache, cause memory lapse. Certain sound frequencies will do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it started out experimenting with that, and then it switched over to these college kids. They get college grant money. So then one evening they showed up with, we actually met at the library, and they brought a bunch of these voice boxes. Every time you could shake a stick at, including that expensive damn SB7 or whatever, I was laughing. I'm like, that thing's like $600. He goes, yeah, college grant. Then he smacks it with a hammer. We ended up opening all of these things up to look to see what's in them.
Gotcha.
And in every single piece of equipment that is considered a voice box or a spirit talker, every single last one of them had a receiver and a memory bank.
Interesting.
So, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to using those for legitimate ghost hunting, I don't trust them. Because all you have to do, and the kid, it was so funny because the kid, Trey, he actually demonstrated it. He said the night before an event, you sit down with this piece of equipment and you repeat words into it. Or just turn it on and let it listen to a conversation. And the whole time it's recording and adding it to its bank. So the night of the investigation, when you turn that thing on, it's going to repeat words from the previous night over again like they're brand new.
Interesting.
And you're going to think, oh, God, we're talking ghosts. Oh, look, it just said murder when you put 12 murder words in it the night before.
Well, then what's
the following night at the event when you turn it on and pop it off.
What's your thought then on the, what is your thought process then on the Necrophonic app? How do you feel about that? Because we use that. I mean...
Right. Necrophonic, it doesn't have a adjustable, it doesn't have a recordable bank.
Okay.
It's not listening to you.
Okay.
All right. The words that are already in the bank are already in there, because you'll notice when you play it, there will be certain voices that will say the same thing, or you hear little sounds that are the same thing.
Right.
Okay, that's the word bank that was installed when the program was created.
Gotcha.
So anything additional to the repeated stuff that you hear, there's your paranormal. When we first started using it and I would listen to what you would post the next day, I couldn't hear what you were talking about. I'm not picking it up because all I'm hearing is the static and the noise over top of it.
Gotcha.
But when I adjust it, all of that crap out, that's when you can really hear those voices come forward. And no, we're using my phone. I'm a scientist. I'm not going to sit there and do, program something to be a fake.
Right. Yeah.
So when it was presented to me, that's why I used it. I haven't really noticed any type of residual or repeated phrases or words days apart. So say you're down at Old House Woods and like we're down there and it told me, for instance, and we were working and trying to get something, route the spirit, and nothing, we weren't getting anything.
Right.
And remember, I sat down and I was like, so, and my smart assedness, I said, so y'all not going to show us anything. You just keep giving us the stupid crap.
Right.
You're not going to give us anything pertinent. And what did we get? 3 different voices at the same time saying, fuck you.
Yes.
That was paranormal. All of the other static crap before that was not.
Right.
And if you stop and think about it, that's never happened again.
No, it hasn't. You're right.
That's how you tell the difference. You notice a lot of these shows, these people create these voice boxes and they want you to believe that it's spirits talking to you through them. So they can sell you that equipment. But if you are an actual, true, scientific investigator, you're going to weed through that. And like I said, those kids from up at the college up at VCU, they were very thorough. And, they're pulling out memory cards out of these things. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're not supposed to have memory cards in them. That completely defeats authentic paranormal evidence.
Right.
A memory bank, so it's programmable? No, ma'am. I can't. My education won't allow me to say that that's legitimate. And people still use them, and that's fine. But as far as me and my investigation,
Right.
They're not. I don't consider them reliable. I don't consider them adequate or dependable. It's nothing I would place a bet on. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, half of what you see on TV is completely fake.
Yeah, and I've noticed,
and they're doing it for free.
what I want you to do is you have necrophonics still on your phone, right?
Nope.
You don't have it on there
That
anymore?
was on my old phone. I don't have it on the phone.
Okay.
Nope.
I needed you to do an experiment. But you don't have it, so now you can't.
So there's an experiment. I would have to download it onto this phone, which I can do. But something I had mentioned to you that I would love to do is pit this equipment against each other.
Yeah, we can do that.
So say I run necrophonic, you run necrophonic, and we sit there and see what they come up with. If we take 2 REM pods and set them up against the 360, do they go off at the same time? You know, there's all of those types of experiments that have never been done to prove or disprove your equipment.
Right. Yeah.
Personally,
yeah.
I would want to know if it's legit.
Right. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I know that one night when we was at the Manor House, the REM pod slightly went off and the 360 went off at the same time that this guy was asking questions when the dowsing rods were moving. So they all 3 were going off at the same time. And I've never really had that happen. So that was very interesting to me. And it was weird because at the time,
that would be something that would be documented.
Yeah, see, my body cam, unfortunately, that night was downstairs. I just wanted to leave it running in a room where nobody was around, where nobody could touch it. So I had actually left my body cam downstairs that evening. It's weird how things happen and your video evidence is not there because it was downstairs.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah.
I have a tablet that has a camera and video. You know, it's all in the tablet. And usually, before that, I would use my laptop and just set it up and set it on record because it had a very sensitive mic on it.
Right.
And I would sit it on top of the van and just let it go. And we'd go off and do our investigations and everything, and the whole time it's sitting on top of the van recording. And a lot of times when Kevin would review, that there were conversations that were going on and we weren't even there.
That's why I had kept my body cam downstairs at the Manor House that particular evening, because I wanted to see when he goes upstairs and does his tour, what happens downstairs when nobody's down there because everybody is upstairs. I wanted to know. So I was like, all right, I'm going to set my body cam up over here and just see what happens. That was the goal.
And what you'll actually, this is a prediction, okay? Actually, what will happen, you'll notice, depending on who comes to the tours or as the tours happen, you'll notice something happens. I call it where you're, over in Asia, they believe in people that have the ability to manipulate chi, and they can move air.
Yes.
I question a lot of times when people are doing investigations, what are they moving as they come into an environment?
Right.
Are there things that wanting to get away from somebody, so they go somewhere else? You know, I've seen that happen. Actually, it was a house in Yorktown, and I want to say it was on Nelson Street. A friend of mine, their friends rented the home, and it's an old colonial. And it was weird because you would hear things upstairs and go upstairs, and nothing would be happening, and then you would hear everything downstairs.
Wow.
And we end up running up and down, and I told her one time, why don't we just set up a camera and a mic down here while we go upstairs, and then vice versa?
Right. Right.
Because, you know, I've seen instances where whatever these entities or spirits are, they don't like people
Right.
or certain individuals.
That's true.
And they'll move and they'll leave.
That's true. That
Or
is
have you
very
ever
true.
been in the middle of a conversation with a spook, through your EVPs, and you've got there's actually some intelligent conversation going on, and then someone shows up and poof, it stops.
Right. No, you're absolutely right about that. I've experienced that. I've seen that happen. Let me ask you something. Do you want to, because I've got like 2 minutes left here, but I can continue on StreamYard. Do you want me to send you a link to StreamYard to where we can continue, or do you? Okay, I'm going to do that because I know I don't want to cut into Ryan's show, but I've got StreamYard on here so I can continue our talk through StreamYard. So I'm going to, let me get that. So then that way, when I hang up with Ryan, we'll still be on StreamYard. So I'm getting that pulled up for you and I'm getting ready to send it to you. Then that way we can continue our conversations, because I know people are listening and I don't want to, it's such an interesting conversation. I don't want to just cut it off now, because it's really cool, because, I agree with you on what you're saying with what we're talking about. Let's see. Let me see if I can paste it and then you just come in that way. Let's see.
If you hear a ghost cat in the background, let me see. Come here, Haven.
All right, I sent you that link, and I'm going to get off of the.
Okay, Haven is not talking. That is my cat that I got from down at Haven, down Old House Woods.
Oh, nice.
And I named her Haven, and she's the weirdest damn cat. She's talking this evening. She talks to things.
I've got you.
She talks to the TV.
I've sent you the link. So I appreciate you coming on the Vibe Time part of it. I'm going to hang up on the Vibe Time part, but I'm going to continue on StreamYard. So if you have any problems getting in with that link, just message me, but you really shouldn't have any problems.
Okay.
All right. So for my Vibe Time people, for my Vibe Time people, thank you so much for tuning into Vibe Time on the air. We're going to continue on StreamYard. All right, Kimberly. Thanks.
See you on
StreamYard.
See you on StreamYard.
Yep, StreamYard.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. That way I can, we're going to continue that episode. And then that way I can there we go. Like she said, continue on StreamYard, because this is such a interesting discussion. And by the way, too, next week is going to be open mic night for me. So what I'm going to do is, if you want to call into the Vibe Time with Geri switchboard, like Vibe Time Radio, the 516 number, because some people tune in that way. All you got to do is hit 1 if you want to talk. So that's going to be open mic. I haven't tried that yet on my show, but let's just see how it goes. Because I can always have somebody come in and we can start talking, but that's what I'm going to do next week, is like an open mic night where, people can talk about, different experiences, your thoughts on paranormal, just different things like that. I don't know why I'm all the way off on my calendar. Yeah, open mic. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll sit here and see if Kimberly can get on. She should be able to hit that link. And let's see if she's able to get on. But anyway, for those of you who are going to be going to the Hyco House event, that's going to be really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Got to get more cozy here because I don't want to use my train of thought. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know it started off with our talk about, the Hyco House and our Kimberly's, not ours. Oh my God, the event happening at the Hyco House and her party. We just, we just roll with it because, like I said, it's not scripted. So let me see if she's. Let me see. She's probably going to kill me for messaging her in the middle of her trying to do something. If you can't get on, Kim, just put it in the, like, okay, there she is. And she don't even have to have her mic. Let me see. Add to stream.
Here I is.
Yay.
I got my camera blocked because I look like shit.
Would help. Such a nerd. Okay.
Hell no. I look terrible. Okay. I ain't even had a shower.
Oh, you'll be all right.
Lord. I look like something.
Right. I look like something. I look like
something falling out of Old House Woods is what I look like.
Oh, you're fine. I just don't want to. I didn't want to just like end it, and then when we're right in the middle of such a good conversation, when we're talking about the equipment versus each other, I didn't want to get out of that.
Yeah. I would really like to pit some of this equipment against each other. One of the other things I question, because I don't know the intricacies of REM pods and that Periscope 360 and a lot of the equipment that's being used today. I don't know if there is something inside of them that can link them. Like if one REM pod goes off, the other one goes off, or something of that nature. I know we've got that technology, but I don't know if something like that was put into those pieces of equipment.
Right.
But what I've seen, I mean, in all honesty, some of the most remarkable REM pod and equipment, light up equipment experiences I've seen so far, honestly, is something that Savvy Spook has got. The last time I saw her, when she was down at Old House Woods, and she brought me my birthday stuff, or Christmas stuff, one or the other. They were getting a lot of hits on that little light up. It looks like a lantern that she's got.
Which one is that one? Oh, she's got the is it the para light? Is it the para
Yeah,
light?
It's got different colors on it, and the stronger it is, the more levels on it light up.
Yeah, that's the para light. I have that at the house.
Okay, yeah, she that thing was going off. And at first I thought, well, maybe it's because it's inside the vehicle. Nope, when she took it outside the vehicle, that thing was going off. And I was like, wow, okay. So I sat there and just observed, her and her friends using it. And she was like, I don't understand. It was doing fine, and now all of a sudden it's going off like crazy. And I'm like, yeah. And I sat there and watched her for a good 10 minutes. And this thing just kept going and kept going.
I discovered something a little bit about that. David Flower says, in his opinion, the majority of the light up equipment is all the same with different packaging. That's what he said.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That would make sense. That's what we found in the voice boxes, is they were all generally the same. They had the same, with the exception of like lights and that sort of thing. I'm talking the actual intricate innards of these SB7s and, ovuluses and all of this sort of thing. They've all basically got the same setup on the inside, and the fact that I found, like I said, there's a memory chip in it, there's a mic in it, and there's of course, a speaker in it. That just that freaked me out. And then when they were saying, oh yeah, and then when we test it with the equipment, yeah, all you have to do is turn it on and it's recording everything going on around that piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's being added to a sound bank the whole time you have it on. So a lot of people will have these experiences where they'll capture a ghost named Geri. Okay, say they're at Old House Woods and they capture a ghost they talked to on the equipment named Geri. And then, you know, a few days later or a week later, all of a sudden, this ghost Geri is at a totally different area, you know, at another haunted site. And all of a sudden, this ghost Geri is talking to them again. And I'm like, well, that will happen if it's running a word bank.
Right.
And
That was the experiment I wanted you to. That's the experiment I wanted you to do, because like on the Necrophonics app, you know how we went down to Old House Woods, and a couple of times I've gotten the guy, David, that says Blondie. Remember?
Right. Yep.
Blondie. Okay. Well, when I was at the museum working and I was running the Necrophonic app, it got on there and said Blondie with the same tone.
I think, okay, here's my opinion on that. I think, honestly, Geri, you have a spirit around you that was a living person, and his name was David. And because that's not the first time that's happened.
I know.
So I think that, honestly, that's a particular spook that happens to be around you a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not all the time.
No, I'm agreeing with you on that, because it freaked me out a little bit when, you know, because I wasn't recording or anything when I was working there, you know, at the museum. I was just kind of running it to see who would come, you know, to see if anybody was there. And then when that came through like that, I was like, oh my God. So, you know, maybe this is just a person that is around me all the time, and maybe it's not my Old House Woods boyfriend.
Right, because when I run Necrophonic app, when I'm not with you, I don't ever get David or Blondie,
right,
or any of those things.
Right. That's yeah.
If I ran it and I was still getting Blondie or David, then it would be okay. This is some kind of a recorded memory bank. But it's not, because I don't get that when I run it alone. But when you're there is when it shows up.
Yeah, it's weird. And then I made my sister like sit for an hour or so running Necrophonics on her phone just to make sure. I was like, can you just see if the word Blondie comes in that at all? You know, just to see. I wanted somebody else to run the app other than me off of their phone. And she said she didn't get anything like that.
Right. Right. And that's
the same tone, but it's wild to me. I mean, I'm intrigued by it because it's the same tone in different places. That's what's so cool to me. I'm fascinated by it. I can't help it.
Right. And that's how you can tell the difference between something that is possibly legitimate and something that is just flat out not.
Yeah.
You know, and I just, you know, that's why I don't go on a lot of paranormal tours, and I don't really watch a lot of paranormal TV and all of this kind of thing, because it's just, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble. If they get started on the wrong false side of something and they're really genuine, eventually they're going to figure out, hey, I need to look for some legitimacy in this. If it's somebody who's in it just for the show,
right,
and you know several of these individuals, because we've talked about it before.
Yes.
You have these individuals who are all in it just for the show.
Yeah.
That's all. It's an entertainment. And because of that, they're not confined by scientific theory or parapsychology or, you know, any of those sorts of things. So they can just run amok and claim all kinds of stuff. And of course, they have the equipment that will back up what they're trying to say.
Right.
But when you come away from it and you look at the equipment they're using, the way they're setting it up, I mean, just for instance, you know, the Ghost Hunters show. When they outed Grant with that piece of string attached to the back of his shirt, and he was claiming it was a ghost that was touching him, and it wasn't. You know, that really just, okay, that's it. That killed it for me with that show.
Right.
And then, of course, they had the classic, you know, drinking glass on the bedside table that cracked or that broke. Well, I know how to fake that. And that's exactly what they did. And I was like, oh my God. And they're going to make people think that this is real. And you're going to have all these kids out here staring at a glass on their bedside table for hours.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
no, I
muddies
know
the
exactly
water.
what you're saying. That's why I don't put, like, when I put my stuff out, I don't just put it out there. I have to have other people like listen and, like even stuff from, even with Old House Woods, I run it through you first. I don't just slap the stuff out there.
Right. My thing is I ask people, what do you hear?
Yeah.
What do you hear in this? Or what do you see in this? Like the photos that we got of Old House Woods with the demon face down at the bottom of the post.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what did I do when I posted it? I just posted, what do you see in this picture?
Right.
And we had a lot of people who were saying, oh, I see the monster. Ooh, that's the witch of Old House. All of this bullshit. And then you had people who actually took the time to blow the photo up and look at it.
Right.
And one of my friends had hit me up with, oh my God, what the hell is that? And I'm like, Old House Woods.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it sure as hell is a face. Just like the photo you took that had numbers in it.
Yeah.
Now, me and my buddy Matt's pretty, he's a pretty level-headed dude. He's, and he's got a bit of a scientific edge, and he was looking at it and he's like, he was trying to debunk it 9 ways to Sunday. Is that a reflection of numbers off of one of the signs that are right there at the corner? Is it a license plate number? Is it?
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
There was nowhere those numbers could have come from. There was nothing for it to reflect off of. I don't know why they were in that photo.
Yeah, I still, I'm still fascinated by that because we all tried to debunk it. We all tried to sit here and think that maybe it was light refraction and things like that. I mean, I remember we tried to debunk that thing to the point I got a damn headache.
Right. Remember we were down there with the flashlights trying to make it reflect off of things to see if that's what it was. But
Yeah.
even still, it have made a difference because those numbers aren't on a license plate of any of the vehicles, your or my vehicle.
Right.
It wasn't a road sign numbers telling the route numbers. They were totally random numbers.
Yes.
Where the hell did they come from? I do not know. Now, I do have a theory on one of the phenomenon that we keep getting on your phone down there.
Go ahead. The foggy phenomenon. Is that what you're talking about?
The fog.
Yes.
Yes, the fog phenomenon. Okay. I have a theory, and we're going to test it. All right.
Okay.
I think your camera flash is picking up the finger grabby thing on the back of the phone, and you're getting light bouncing off of that into the image, making it appear this tawny looking fog.
Fog. Yeah.
Those will do that. Those flash.
You there?
Out of your more expensive. Yep, I'm here.
Okay. I'm sorry. There was a break in there.
Like a lag. It might be on my end with the internet. But a lot of those phones, the flashes are just so strong.
Yes.
If you got a fingernail with nail polish, it'll throw a haze or a reflection, whatever color that nail polish it picks up. Because you're not picking up the image of what's causing it. You're picking up the after effect, the glow of what's coming from when you flash it and it bounces off of whatever it is. And I suspect what's happening is it's bouncing off of your finger holder on the back of your phone. Is there any way you can move it? Can you move it? Can you take it off and maybe put it lower or away from that flash? Because
I see what you're saying. I might be able to. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. I could try to. I could try to do that.
Just for the night, just for the experimentation, to see if it happens when you move it, or when it's removed from the phone. Are we still getting the same result?
Right.
because a lot of, my basis is photography, because I did photography for ages, and I
Right.
know how certain imagery will be affected by, gosh, all kinds of crap. You can have a water droplet on a leaf in a photograph from 50 feet away, and it'll pick up that droplet and make it look like you've got an orb in your photo, but it's not.
Right.
It's the flash coming off of that water droplet. And I tell people that, don't, like I said, true paranormal photography, walk along and snap a photo. I think even John had admitted about that photo that he took of that person in the doorway. He wasn't taking the picture to focus on the doorway. He just snapped the photo and it was in it.
Yes.
And that's why I tell people, don't go into a paranormal investigation with your camera up to your eye like a photographer would, looking to catch an image. You're never going to catch it.
Right.
You just got to walk along and snap them randomly. If something tells you, what's that window? Snap a photo of that window. You're walking along and something seems to pull your attention to the right or left. Raise that camera up. Don't take time to put it to your eye and focus. Just raise that camera up, hold it steady, and snap it, and keep going. Right. And you're going to catch stuff that, is simply, it's unexplainable. That photo I've got of what I like to call Mr. Forrest or Billy Bones in the woods, that was the first photo we ever caught, or that's ever been caught, down Old House Woods, that actually showed a skeletal soldier. And Kevin said when he was reviewing the photos, it didn't pop right out at him at first. Just something made him kept going back to that particular picture.
Right.
So he said, well, I'll lighten it up. So he lightened it up, and that's when he noticed, holy crap, what the hell is that? So he lightened it some more, and he lightened it all the way up, and there is a skeleton with some kind of face shield and medals on his chest and a belt buckle, ribs, arms. It looks like he's holding maybe the reins of a horse and holding up a lantern, and his leg.
Have I seen that picture? Did you show me that one?
I don't know if I did. I use it to advertise events at Old House Woods. That's what's in the background. I'll have to send it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know I have some pictures that Kevin had put out a long time ago, and that was just to put in the research folder because it has the year and everything.
And flip photo. A lot of people are experienced with what we called flip photo, where you take a picture and then you duplicate it and you flip it and sit right beside the image. You'd be amazed at what pops out at you. Now, a lot of that is, it evades me right now. The word for it's a perception where you'll see faces and everything. It's whatever that phenomenon is. I can't think of it right now. A lot of it is that, but every now and then you'll get some really weird photos. Kevin got a picture of something in an attic, and he shot it with red light. Okay, so it's red, it's all lit up red. And if that's not some kind of, I don't want to say demonic, because then you want to throw religion into all of it, but it's some negative, demonic looking entity that is staring right back at him. You can see the face, the shoulders, the arms. It's down on all fours. And that was in a house in Gloucester.
Oh, wow.
And all he was shooting red light. All he did was, I pulled down the stairs to the attic, thank God, we didn't even know if it was going to be intact in this old wreck of a house. I pulled down the stairs, and his brave ass went right up them stairs. He didn't stick his head up there. He just stuck the camera up there and shot it.
Pareidolia, is that the name of it?
That's it. Yes.
That's what David Flowers said. Pareidolia.
Yes.
Isn't that your book, David Flowers?
Yeah. And it's once you realize that phenomenon and you learn how to identify that for yourself, then you don't ever it's not going to fool you. Won't be fooled by it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you get a lot of these young investigators, man, there's pareidolia everywhere. They're seeing Jesus and toast. I mean, and they go out in these woods and they think that they're seeing things in curtains and old glass. I'm sure David Flowers can attest to this. Old original glass in these homes that have got that waved kind of warped glass. It's
yes.
handmade glass. You know what I'm talking about? It's not
we have it at
perfectly
the museum.
Yes. That's the old original glass.
Yeah.
If you hit that with a flash on a camera at a certain angle,
he knows what it is.
Yeah. All kinds of faces and crap pop up at you. And it's not paranormal. It's pareidolia. But
Manor House has it.
Yes. The way your camera catches that will present as something legitimate, but it's not. If you go back and try to repeat it, you're not going to get the same thing, or you're gonna get the same thing, and then it's like, oh, well, crap, I can stand here all day and take a picture from this position and I will repeatedly get that. And yeah, a lot of the houses in Colonial Williamsburg, Yorktown, they're loaded with that type of glass. And I've had people take pictures and say, oh, look, there's a picture of an old slave woman with, a little bonnet on her head. Mm-hmm. And then you go to the house and look, and you realize it's a funky looking lamp sitting on a table 2 feet in front of the window with a curtain.
Right.
And it's like, well, there you go. That's not a head. It's those funny looking lamps.
Yeah. And I had that experience one time in Williamsburg. I had taken a picture from afar, and when I had zoomed in on it, I saw like there was a bunch of faces in there, but I went over to the house to see what could have possibly caused that, but there was nothing there. Like there wasn't something funky sitting there. That's right. What I mean. I don't like to just post something unless it's legit.
Right. You debunk it yourself. Yeah. And that's another thing. Colonial Williamsburg, Jiminy Christmas. Going to school out there at William at old Bill and Mary, for a lot of fun, that's what a college students used to do, would head out and go look for ghosts or, trying to scare each other, daylights out of each other. And that's how I got into Eastern State.
Oh, wow.
And, a lot of these, back in the day, it's all welded up now. They put in rebar and gates and stuff and welded the tunnels shut. But back in the day, you could walk that tunnel all the way up out to the next building and then go up in the next building. You can't do that now.
Right.
But there were things that I'm not even talking about what I sensed, because it wasn't anything viable, that I can talk about. But the things that you would see, not even in the buildings, just out on the grounds. And when you go into the buildings, oh my God, you're seeing stuff from long ago play out in front of you, like you're watching a film. But you only get like a blippet of that. You're not getting 5 or 10 minutes of this. It happens for a few seconds or maybe a minute, and then it just vanishes. It's not there anymore. I saw a really nice, awesome, nice catch from Eastern State about a year ago. A guy had a drone and was flying it further into certain parts of the in the back, you know, where the grass is all grown up and half of the buildings are falling in.
Yeah.
And that's what this was. It was actually a treatment, one of the treatment centers. You know, you had all these hospital, what do they call them? Curtains and stuff hanging up inside the building where it had fallen over and you could look right through it. And he flew his drone right up to it and sat there with the drone for a while, just looking around. And by God, right there, crossed right in front of the camera on the drone was I want to say a full body apparition, but it was more like from the thighs up of someone that just walked right in front of that camera.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God, which building is this? You know, that was my first thing. Which building is this? Because now I want to go back and I want to stand there with a camera and see if I can catch it. But, you know, a lot of those places back in there are awesome. Now, you have psychic tendency mediumship. So if you were to go to where the graveyard is at and just sit there with your eyes closed and just listen, you're not going to believe what you hear.
Yeah.
The same thing if you sit up at the dedication memorial, same thing. And you'll find that will happen no matter where you go. Now you have to be careful because the swimming pool that sits across from Building 21, the women's swimming group club of Williamsburg meets there all the time to swim in the pools. So you have to make sure that they're not there, or else you're going to get voices and stuff, and it's them talking. You also have to be aware of which buildings are still active.
Yeah, you know, I don't know too much about it. I know that when I went with the Sentes cross country, because their cross country team runs there, it was very interesting.
I bet.
The buildings were fascinating to me. And I mean, you get that sense, of course, of you being watched, but on the flip side, that it's creepy. So you're going to get those feelings too.
Yeah, you are. I've been touched there.
Yeah.
I've had my hair flicked there.
Yeah. It's interesting.
The thing you see and your experience, your overall feeling, you know, and I really tell people, I'm like, it's not foreboding. I mean, Eastern State really did a lot of good. People that worked there loved working there. My aunt worked there for 53 years.
My friend works there. I got a friend that works there currently. She loves it.
In the new hospital up front. She's not working in the back.
Yeah, she loves it there, though. You know, she just...
But I'll tell you what hasn't been thoroughly investigated, which I really want to go ahead and just do it, because they're getting ready to tear it all down, is the doctors and nurses' quarters across the street. That's also where the activities hall is. The bowling alley and all of that are all in those row of buildings.
Okay.
But the doctors and nurses' quarters sit up front, closer to the sports, little sports arena there. There's the ball field and all of that. Those sit right behind there. Now, when I went there just to walk around the outside and photograph it, I definitely want to go there and do an investigation, just based off of what off of the sensation I got while I was there. Like I said, nothing evil, nothing bad.
Right.
Just, like you're looking into another time.
Right. You're right. I didn't feel when I was there on the properties, while they were running track, and I kind of walked around and I took pictures of those buildings that I was in front of. I didn't sense anything like that. You know, same thing with the manor house. There's nothing bad there. You don't sense anything. You're going to have to go with me on one of those tours.
Yeah, it's what I call it's a haunting. Is all it is. They're there. I a lot of times I wonder if these things even realize that we're there. Another thing that used to it still ticks me off to this day, and all it is plain ignorance. They don't know any better, but they try to claim that the hospital behind the new hospital, where I was just talking about going, that's the original Eastern State. It's not. It's not.
Gotcha.
The original Eastern State is up in Colonial Williamsburg. And I believe I'm not sure if it's an arts building now or if it's part of the attorneys and lawyers building. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
Not sure which it is, but that's the original Eastern State. It's one singular building.
Huh.
Everything that's built, all the old ones that are behind the new building, those are the Eastern States. Those are the buildings and all of that was built after the Civil War, after long after the original Eastern State shuttered. Because they built all of those buildings around back, and of course they kept adding buildings. Some of them were built in the 70s, some were built in the 60s.
Right.
You can tell them by the tile that was used in it. I knew a guy that was an actual painter that painted a lot of the interiors of those buildings. And, he was the one, he was like, oh no, that one was built in 1971. That one over there was built in 1963. He knows all of the ages of all of those buildings. And I would just laugh, and I'm like, well, how many people have you met that claim that this is the original? And he's like, a lot of people, because they just don't know.
David Flowers said it was an art building. It's an art building.
There you go. I knew he would know. I mean, he's
definitely.
He's the colonial king.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said you're going to have to go on one of his tours. I'll drive you up there when I go, and you just we'll figure out what night you want to go, and I'll get you, and we can go together.
Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I think you'd really enjoy it. It's we have it's a really fun tour.
Have you ever been to Tuning's Tavern?
I have not. I've walked past it, but I have not been in there.
Right.
In there.
When you go into Tuning's, it's not a whole lot, but when you go to the bottom to the service where it goes down underneath the road, that's where you'll hear voices, and they'll play with you.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they'll play with you. I had a friend of mine who had an incredible recording. She's passed on now, but she had a recording that she made down there, and she worked there.
Oh, wow.
And all she was doing was going down to get, some more bottles of wine and to get something else to bring back up. And when she went to grab the wine, she heard laughter.
Oh, wow.
And she thought it was funny. And she was like, oh, man, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to get my recorder and bring it down here. And that's what she did. And she got laughter. She got someone asking, you want another drink? Would you like another drink?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. And that wasn't coming from the tavern above. This was all, those old buildings have a way of muffling stuff.
Right.
Just like, oh God, there's another, can't think of the name. The Wren building. There's a certain hall in the Wren building that late at night, and everybody knows this. I mean, if you went to college there, you knew it. Matter of fact, you probably sat in the hall to hear it. You could hear everything from scratching to crying.
Oh, wow.
And they say it was because somebody was bricked up in the wall there. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they claim. And when you're sitting there and you're listening, yeah, and that building it creeps me out. I don't like the feeling in that building. It's
Huh.
off-putting.
Yeah,
One night,
that takes a lot for you to say that too.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it does.
Because I don't get, there ain't a whole lot that shakes me.
I know.
Kevin and I around about that because, when we go, investigation and people would show up at Old House Woods and something would happen, these groups of people would run the opposite direction. And there's me and Kevin, running towards whatever we heard or saw. And everybody else in the group is running the other way. And it was like, how are you ever going to find anything if you're running away from it all the time?
Right.
And I tell people too, to watch your religion when you go into an investigation. Put your religious beliefs in check. Don't go in there. Don't go in there thinking that everything you hear is going to be something demonic or is going to be someone who's going to hell because you're hearing their voice. Oh my God, they weren't saved and I'm hearing grandma, she didn't go to heaven. People have to stop doing that because when you do your investigations, it's best to walk in completely blank. Yes. Nothing. Don't go in there with any kind of premeditated plan or thought. I've been to a lot of places. People swear up and down it's haunted. And I go in there and there's nothing.
There's nothing there. Yeah.
Nothing there. And I've been hired to come. I say hired. I don't accept money, but I'll go out to investigate places for people and then help them remedy the situation. And I've been out to places that, oh gosh, and it's this, and we had this, and there's this, and I have this terrible feeling. It makes me throw up, and da 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 da. And I go out there and I find out, well, the chick is like 4 months pregnant. So there's your vomiting issue. All right. And I walk through the house and they're saying, well, every now and then it sounds like somebody's rattling the shutters and the house doesn't have shutters on it anymore. And you go around and you realize that it's a panel on their air conditioning unit inside the house. And at a certain phase that unit goes through, it rattles a little bit.
Right.
And from the kitchen, you don't hear it, but from a bedroom, you will. Things like this never cross anybody's mind when they think that they're being haunted. You know, I had something here after my dad died because, I inherited this place after he passed. And Thanksgiving was like a thing to my dad. Oh, my God. That was a big ordeal. We had to have the oyster stuffing and all. And, he loved Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And every Thanksgiving for about 6 years, every Thanksgiving, my front door would pop open. We're in the middle of eating, and the front door just pop and opens up a little bit. I tried to debunk it out of what could it be? Is it something going on with the air pressure inside the house? I'm going totally, geek on it. Never could figure out what it was, but it only happened for 7 years and then it stopped. And it hasn't happened since. So I don't know. Was that my dad coming for Thanksgiving dinner?
Could be.
Right. There's just all kinds of stuff out there that I really wish more investigators that are serious about it would seriously sit down and look at and debunk themselves. I tell people, debunk your own, investigations. Don't take everything, it may look like this, but after a little bit of snooping around and poking stuff, and you might realize, oh, well, that's why that's happening. When for the last, like with Old House Woods, everybody talking about lights in the woods and the lights on the ground. And, the ghosts, you can see where they step because the ground lights up. And remember, y'all were out at the cabin.
Yes.
And I had already told you about what happened in Old House Woods. We found out they were glowworms.
Yes.
And it happened at the cabin when you were out there. And I started giggling, and I was like, Geri, you know what those are. And the girls that were like, it's ghosts. It's ghosts on the ground. They're showing us where people died. And I'm like, oh, my freaking God. It's glowworms. And I was just laughing because they didn't know.
Yeah.
You know? And here you would have had a situation like the kids with the glasses. You'd have these ladies wandering all throughout the woods, chasing down glowworms and getting lost.
Yes. And you don't want to go in the woods at Old House Woods at all. Reiterate that, please.
Not at all. Do not leave the road. There's no reason to leave the road. Everything, all of the legends, everything have always been visible from the road.
Yes.
The biggest issue with going into the woods, of course, number one, you're trespassing.
Thank
all
you.
of that property is posted. And do not doubt, because I've done it.
Yeah.
Do not think that there's people that don't have cams set up down there. I know where 4 of them are.
Oh yeah.
And
definitely.
I've been known to go down, borrow hunt cams. I've been known to go down there and strap hunt cams to trees to see what's going on when I'm not there. You know, can I catch something crossing the road or, something of that nature? The other reason you don't want to go down there is in the woods is we have 3 varieties of snakes down there that are highly poisonous, and they're everywhere. And then, of course, the other big ugly is the snapping turtles that occupy and live in that swamp.
There's some big ones.
Huge. We're talking doormat. Now, I was told we don't have alligator snapping turtles in Virginia. We do have snapping turtles, but they're not the alligator snapping turtles.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, but that huge, massive, I mean, he's as big as a doormat. His head's bigger than both of my fists put together.
Yeah.
And he will crawl out on that road in a sunny spot. And you usually see him real heavy in the spring because that's when they're coming out of the mud. He'll sit in that road and he's not going to move. And you're trying to drive down the road to go to the beach. He ain't moving.
Right.
And I've seen people try and tap him with sticks, try to get him to snap a log and then drag him. Nope. He's smart. And I tell people, don't approach it. Now, Kevin and I have seen them in the ditches, because they'll put their little snoot just above the water. And time and time again, Game and Fishery was down there one day and we were talking to the guy and he told us, he said, all it takes is for one person to slip and your foot go in the ditch right by one of those turtles.
Yeah.
And if it snaps you in your Achilles tendon, there's an artery that runs back there. The rescue squad can't get down there fast enough and get you to a hospital before you bleed out.
Right.
I mean, the county line is 20 minutes from the hospital in EMS.
Right.
You're another 30 minutes down into the county.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta
be careful. Yeah. You got to.
And you go stomping around the swamps. The last idiot that did that, him and his little girlfriend, it didn't happen while I was there, went traipsing off to go stomp through the woods. Mr. I don't care. They're not going to get me. Him and his girlfriend went jaunting off through the woods, and she ended up with a really, really nasty rash where she got ate up by chiggers and was scratching it and stepping in all of that nasty, stagnant swamp water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she ended up with a terrible infection on both of her legs and ankles.
That's terrible.
So you just don't do that. There's too many risks involved for what? To catch nothing?
Right. Yeah, I think we've got we've gotten the most of our all of our evidence on the road. We've never been off of the road. We don't go into the woods.
And I'll
Never.
tell you, there's stuff that will beckon you to come in there, and don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. You know, that actually happened to Savvy. Remember when we were down there?
Yes.
There was something in a certain section of woods, and she was like, it's like it's wanting me to come in there. It's wanting me to come in there. And I'm like, don't you jump that ditch.
Yeah,
Don't
but
do
we
it.
still have that theory in a certain part that you and I go to and sit a lot where people are drawn to this one particular spot. I don't quite want to say where that's at because we're still running theories, but you know what spot I'm talking about. Every person that
Yeah.
we've, you know, and that's
But what-
why.
Well,
you
what
know.
we need to do, what we need to do is we need to go down there and experiment, run
Yeah,
the
and
equipment.
remember, that was the
Photograph.
one. That was the same place where we were at, and I was running my body cam, and I thought I had got the evidence on there, and that's where it just died. And that
Right, and
body
that
cam was
that is
charged.
where, yes, that is where the night that I was parked down there in the van. It was after I'd had my hernia surgery, and I was hooked up to all kinds of crap, but I couldn't stay away from Old House with. So here I am hooked to all of this wound pump equipment and crap in my van. And I go down and I'm just sitting in the road, and Kevin's on the outside of the van walking around, you know, trying to talk to the ghost, speaking French. We'll get them to come out really easy. And he comes over to my window, and, you know, in this Honda van, my radio antenna comes off the bottom of the windshield, and where the hood's at, that's where it comes up at. All right. And Kevin leans in the window, and we're sitting there shooting the shit and talking. And then all of a sudden,
I gotta sneeze.
you know, I hear this twang, and Kevin jumps back and goes, "What the F was that?" Something plucked my antenna on the van, and my radio didn't work for 6 months. And when it started working again was when I was down back in Old House Woods. The radio just came on.
Right. That's wild.
That happened right there, where we have photographs on our page of those red orbs that are about the size of a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Those were right there. So I don't know what that is. I know it's a drain line for the swamp, because you can follow it all the way, like a ditch, you can follow it all the way out to the water. But I don't know what the significance of that area right there. I don't know why. Now, the original house of Old House, the old house of Old House Woods, sat right there on that piece of property. So I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
And
know why every time we do a tour, people are, and note, it's always individuals that are a little,
Be careful what you say.
They're sensitive to inactive imagination. Can I say that? Because I don't know them very well, and I can only assess.
You know what we should do? We should make David Flowers, when it warms up, come down there with us one time and put him in that spot and see what happens, because he is like a skeptic kind of person. He's like you, very scientific, and just tries to debunk everything. So if we put somebody there that's in the right mind, you know.
Yes, well, you know that they're psychologically stable. You know that they're not. You know that they are not privy to wild, fantastical tangents.
Right.
You know, because we've seen our fair share of that down there too. Believe you me. Someone who's very, you know, stable. Go down there and see what they find, see what they see. Because, you know, Kevin, when we first started, first of all, he was a straight up atheist. Very scientific. You know, all of this. And when we stopped going down there, because life started to take us started to take him in some very terrible directions. He told, he came out and said, I'm thinking I'm more agnostic. And I would laugh and I'm like, okay, why? So we would discuss it, because a lot of the time you're down there in the dark, you're walking around with cameras and a flashlight. You left your digital recorder back on the hood of the van running, and we're just walking in the pitch black dark. We spent all those hours down there. Seriously, do you think it was all about just ghost hunting? No, we talked about all kinds of things.
Right.
And I would tell him, he said agnostic. He said, because Kim, I can't explain any of this. I don't know what any of this stuff is. But one night we were walking, the area that I told you that he said that if he ever died, this is where we would meet.
Right. Yes.
Okay. We were walking there, and we were walking right past there, headed towards that first bend. And right in front, what I saw was this massive thing that was dark. It was solid because it blocked out, but it was in the shape of a cow, crossed right in front of us. And then right behind it were these two little, I don't know what the hell they were. They were little tiny, like maybe 2 feet tall. They had pointed heads, like maybe they were, either wearing a hood or I don't know. You couldn't see arms and legs or anything like that. And they just both went across the road in front of us, went up a tree. And when they were going up a tree, a dark mass appeared above that tree line. I'd say probably 10 feet. They went up the tree and jumped into that dark mass, and it disappeared. Kevin totally freaked out because he had never seen anything like that. I'm standing there going, okay, what did we just witness? Because first I'm thinking, maybe it was raccoons. I don't know, because raccoons will run up a tree, but raccoons don't run up a tree and jump into a black mass and disappear. I can tell you that.
Right.
And that tripped him out because it was funny watching him try to grasp what he had just saw. Mm-hmm. At that tree that I was telling you about that Kevin said that's where me, Kevin, Steve, and Michaela were in my van, parked there, going to get out to do an investigation. It was cold. And Steve and Michaela are sitting in the back seats of my van with my van doors wide open. Kevin got out and was walking in the road in front of the van. And, he's out there talking French and all of this, trying to get something to come out. And all of a sudden, the entire area around my van lit up bright, like somebody was hitting us from a light from above.
Yeah, and it's dark out there.
Right, and it disappeared. Instantly, Michaela and Steve went into, what the hell? What the hell was that? And they got out the van and were looking all around, and Kevin's going, I saw it. And I'm like, where was it? He said it was right there between that tree and that tree. And I'm like, wait a minute. You sure it wasn't attached to a tree? Could it have been a camera that someone had up there to try and catch us because it's on Dickhead's property? Right. What? The next day, I went back down there with a cherry picker and looked. No bark missing off of no tree, no nothing. No trampled down grass, no broken stems and sticks around the tree. Nothing. I don't know what that was. Now, some people have said it's a vortex. Some people say that it's some kind of dimensional rift that things will come and pass through. I don't know. All I know is it wasn't a camera.
Yeah. David Flowers David Flower said that he has never been accused of being in his right mind.
Honey, none of us have. I don't know how old he is, but I think we all came through the 80s. And if the 80s didn't screw you up, then I don't know what did.
Yeah.
But
it would be the perfect setup. Like, you know, because he's not gonna fake something that's not real. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna fake stuff. So I would trust him to do that.
Right. Well, that's why when you approached me about wanting to become my a fellow researcher, because Kevin, it took forever to find somebody like Kevin. I mean, even though he'd been there, we went to school together,
right?
But this was after his military service and all of this. Finding someone with that strict of a, I used to joke. I used to say, Kevin, if a ghost came up and slapped you right in the face, you wouldn't believe it. And he said, oh, if I could reach out and grab it, I'd believe it.
Yeah.
That's how fine line it was with him. And then being down there, and then, of course, he started bringing up, oh, God, he would say on his talk show and everything, he would constantly be bringing up, well, I never saw anything until Kim Moxley showed up down there one night. And, yeah, that's what happened. He had been to Old House Woods so many times that, looking for things and never had an experience, never saw anything, no nothing. And then we were joking around online one night, and he's like, well, come on down. He said, we'll do some nighttime photography and shoot thunderstorms over the bay from the beach. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And he's like, yeah, you're a white witch. I'm like, stop calling me a damn witch. I'm not a witch. Right. But that was the joke. So I show up down there, and we got a thunderstorm coming, rolling over Mathews. Storms have been rolling over all afternoon. And I go down there. We set up our lawn chairs back to back. He's looking one way down the beach. I'm looking the other way. And we got our little cameras ready, because we're going to catch some thunder and lightning over the bay, right? And all of a sudden, I start hearing a pig. A pig doing, and then squeal and squeal. And I was like, Kevin, you hear that? And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm hearing a pig. And he goes, a pig? And he gets up and he turns around and he shoots a picture down the beach. There ain't no pig. So I'm like, I'm getting up and I'm walking it. And I walked it all the way down to that jetty, the one that you go around the corner.
Yeah.
There ain't no pig out on the beach. And I come walking back and I'm like, there's no pig out here. So I sit down and I'm sitting there and I hear this squealing again. And Kevin goes, oh, I heard that. That's a pig. And he gets up and starts joking. He said, I'm going to have some pork chops. If it's a pig, I'm going to go get my screwdriver. And we start laughing, right? We walked all over that beach. No pig. We come back and sit in the chairs, and we're, sitting there talking, and he breaks out his little digital recorder. And the wind started blowing because, we got a storm coming.
Right.
And I told him, I said, take your recorder and stick it up in that bush so it's out of the wind. You won't get the wind interference. So he did that. And we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden he goes, oh, my God. And I'm like, what, man? What? We got some ghost soldiers coming out of the water or something. What's going on? And he goes, no, look, it's a woman. And I turned around. Kevin was stood up, and I got up and turned around and looked. And there on the beach was a woman in a white dress. And no, her hair wasn't flowing. The dress wasn't flowing. It was like as if you were looking at a cardboard cutout.
Gotcha.
So Kevin goes to snapping away on that camera, and I take off running toward it. And just before I get to it, it's gone. So I whip out my flashlight and I'm looking around on the ground, footsteps, something. Nothing. And as I'm walking back, the bottom fell out, and it was just pouring its ass off. And we ran back to my van, or actually, that's when I had my Saturn view. We ran back to there, jumped in there. Both of us are soaking wet. He's freaking out, you know, scrolling through the pictures on his camera. He's like, I know I caught that. I know I fucking caught that.
Right.
And what he pulls up is not the image that both of us saw. It's a chain of orbs connected, outlining a form.
Oh, wow.
That's what his camera caught, but that's not what our eyes saw.
Right.
You know, so of course he went into just, what is this? What is it? Did you make me see this? And I'm like, Kevin, seriously? You know, and then the rain stopped. We went back out there, sat in the chairs, and sat there for, I don't know, it was a few minutes, and she came right back. And Kevin started snapping away with his camera again, and this time he was snapping it as he was walking towards her on the beach. And he didn't even get 10 feet, and she was gone.
Oh, wow.
And we never could catch it again. So Kevin was like, I think that was the storm lady. And I'm like, well, everybody says that the storm lady hovers above the trees and stuff. And he's like, yeah, but could it possibly be that they can go wherever they want? Could she have been standing on the beach if she wanted?
Right.
Like, that's plausible. Then we took back and he went through listening to all of his digital recording. That's when we got some weird stuff on that recording. Somebody was saying, can you see me? It's me. It's Amy. It's Amy. Can you see me?
Huh.
And then later on it, it says, eat the children, do as me.
Well, that's weird.
And that freaked us both out. You know, because I'm like, why would that eat the children?
Yeah.
I mean, and it was so clear. I'm like, this cannot be. Why would that be down here?
Right.
You know, and then we start researching on the history of Mathews. And the things that started popping up, it was obvious that people did not want us to be digging around in archives and pulling up things that the county doesn't like to admit ever happened here.
Right.
And it's, you know, Mathews went through a whole lot. You know, that's when I found out that there was a carnival down on that beach at one time.
Right.
A full-fledged carnival.
Yeah.
You know, and I started getting photos from the archives of cars lining out as far as you could go. And then when I talked to my dad and he told me, I remember my dad telling me at one time that that beach used to go all the way out to the drop-off. Now, you can't see that from the beach, but from topography maps or even on Google, if you Google Earth it and look, you can see where the land under the water goes out so far, and then bam, it gets real dark. That's where the shelf drops off into the deeper part of the Chesapeake. And there were stories about back in the day, you know, there's legends about ships pulling right up to the beaches.
Yes.
But you go down there today and you're standing in 3 feet of water and you're like, how the hell could that have ever happened?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how, because the beach actually used to go out a lot further than that. And my dad said, oh yeah, you had about 10, 20 feet of shallow water. And then, oh boy, you watch out, because it's going to drop out from under the sand, won't be there anymore. It'll go right out from under your feet and you're in deep water. That's
Right.
how they did it. Because the water was so deep, it was long before erosion. That's how they pulled ships right up to beaches, laid planks out, got off.
Okay.
And also from those same topography maps, Google Maps, if you look at the area, you can see remainders of shipwrecks all around that whole area, leading all the way back to Lily's Neck. And that's where they claimed that's where they were pirating ships, bringing it around back to Lily's Neck in the quiet and the dark and the secrets of, Lily's Neck swamp, and unloading all the cargo and then taking the ships out and sinking them.
Gotcha.
That's all linked into Wolf Trap Lighthouse history. And that's legitimate. That's documented history.
Huh.
That is what happened. That's why they put Wolf Trap Lighthouse out there, because of that sandbar. Ships were getting stuck on it. These people out here were starving because we ate up our resources in wood doing shipbuilding. County didn't have a damn tree in it.
Gotcha. I'm looking
and
at
everybody's starving. So they got the idea, like they did down in Nag's Head, luring ships up to and wrecking them. Well, that's what they did. And ships would get stuck on the sandbar, and they'd go out there and offer, we'll help you get off this sandbar, but we want half of your load.
Right.
And when they would fight back and say no, well, they would just board your ship and overtake you and take your ship around Lily's Neck, take what you got, and then sink your ship.
Gotcha. I'm sitting here.
Look up the history on the RMS Wolf or Captain Wolf, and there's the story of Wolf Trap. They put a lighthouse out on that sandbar so no more ships would run aground.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see that. You can see the sandbar pretty much on the if you go on Google Earth.
Right.
Yeah, because
and then of course, looking from Google Earth too at the area, you'll see that circle of 8.
Yes.
It looks like a figure 8. Okay, everybody was, oh look, it's pirates, pieces of 8. Oh, blah, blah. Oh, what is all this crazy shit? No, it is not.
Tell me what that is, please.
Right. The owner used to have a go-kart track back there for his kids that were a figure 8. And a storm came up, filled it all in with water, and that was the end of that. So now you've got 2 little islands with moats around them out there, and from the air, they look like a figure 8. They look like pieces of 8. And it's not. It's an old go-kart track.
Y'all got that now? The truth is out.
Yeah, that's not a piece of 8. That's not some kind of, I don't know. One group came down there that was crazy, and they were talking about, oh, no, that's a sign to the heavens for the aliens to know where to land. And I'm like, oh, my God, what medication are you on? Did you hit that blunt before you got down here? Or,
That's so funny.
There are people that came now. I've seen some weird shit in the skies. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I know they're not a satellite. I know it's not a plane. It's not a helicopter. There's things chasing each other around up there. And
the night sky at Old House Woods is very interesting. I mean, the night sky itself.
Because you don't have any light pollution. That's why we used to do photography on the beach. Because you're not getting any light pollution down there. It's pitch black.
It is.
So when you look up, you see a sky full of stars. It's funny because David just living one county over. My husband, he grew up in Gloucester. And I remember the first time I brought him out here to Mathews at night. And it was funny. He goes, what's that glow over there? Pointing back towards Gloucester. I said, oh, honey, that's Gloucester. Yeah. And he goes, glowing like that? I said, yeah, that's all the light pollution from Gloucester that you can see out here. And then when we got to my house and, he looked up, he goes, oh, you don't see, the sky doesn't look like this in Gloucester.
Right.
And I'm like, well, no, because you can't see half of what's up there. Out here where it's pitch black, you look up, you can see, what do they call it? That's it. The Milky Way. You can look up and see the Milky Way in a strip right across the sky. And a real thick cluster of stars and crap. It's really awesome. And that's what it is it's light pollution. And if you were raised in the city, then you never realize what you're missing. Right. Until you go to somewhere real dark. Yeah, and Mathews is one of those places.
Yeah, because
get
a
away
lot
from
of photographers go out there. I know that the one time when you and I went out there at the last full moon, because that's when you and I try to go. There
Yeah.
was a photographer. He had his table set up and everything. He was taking astronomy pictures out there.
Yeah,
The best
because
place.
you can map the skies from down there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that clear. It's like,
It's beautiful.
wow. Matter of fact, you can see Venus from down there. You can see Mars
Yeah.
from down there. And it's like, people don't realize that. So you can imagine when city kids, even adults, come
Yeah.
down to go hunting in Old House Woods, and they're from like Virginia Beach or Norfolk, and they get down there. They've never been somewhere that dark. They've never heard half of the noises from the nature that goes on down there.
Right.
So they're freaking out over every little raccoon,
Right.
squirrel, deer.
Right. Yeah.
My God, man. One night, Kevin and I were walking down the road, that straight stretch from the stop sign to the first driveway.
Yep.
We were walking down the road, and we heard all of a sudden, racket. It sounded like hell coming through those woods. And we stopped dead in our tracks, and we were lucky because literally right in front of us, you could reach out and smack one on the ass. An entire herd of deer came flying out of those woods across the road right in front of us.
Oh, wow.
And I'm talking a dozen deer, en masse, right across the road, right in front of us. If one of us had reached out, we could have smacked one in the ass. They were you could smell them.
Right.
If you're a hunter, you know what a deer smells like. You could smell it. That musk. Yeah.
Right.
If we'd have been standing 10 feet forward, we'd have been hit. We'd have been trampled. So you take some city kids down there and they hear that. What are they going to do? They're either going to run away from it, or they're going to step over and see what that noise is and get hit by a herd of deer. That's why I caution people, don't be aware of your surroundings.
Right. You're right.
Here back there. And you want to talk about something spooky? Hear a loon.
Loon.
That'll send a shiver up your spine if you don't know what that is. The bobcat that's down there, when she starts crying, it sounds like a woman crying or a baby crying is what it sounds like.
Huh.
And if you don't know, that's
I'm losing you. Oh, there you are.
You don't know it.
Right.
Kevin and I did. We know where her den is, or where her den used to be. I don't know where it's at now.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if her den is still there or not, but I know she's got a baby this year. I've never seen a double set of prints out on that beach ever since I've been going down there. And sure enough, there's her full-size print with one set of smaller prints.
Wow.
That you'll see her prints down there on the beach. So I know she's got a baby. And I tell people, when you hear her howling or crying like that, move along.
Right.
Move along. Keep moving.
Right.
Because she's not looking at you. She's looking at you out of curiosity. But
that's true. Yeah.
Internet's glitching.
Yeah. Well, we got to get ready to get off. It's been like what? It's like 10:16 now.
I said the things that will catch. Been forever.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's 10:16.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin.
Yes, you are.
All right. Well, let's get off of here. I appreciate
you coming on and talking to me, because we can talk about quite a few things. But I do appreciate you coming on the show and talking about the Hyco House and the event that you're going to be participating in Saturday. So I'll see you Saturday. Yay!
Yes. Yay! Yay!
I know
Yeah, I got to do a lot
David
of running
Flowers
around
is
and
like,
shopping, and
David Flowers is tired of
yeah,
listening to us. He said
I'm so
5:30 is
excited.
yeah, 5:30 is coming around too fast. Listening to us. So he's going, good night, David Flowers. Thank you for tuning into the show. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
And I'm really interested in meeting him. You know, like I said, 11 years ago, I heard the name David Flowers.
Oh wow.
And that's because I was told that he was the person to contact about Colonial Williamsburg.
Gotcha.
I never did, because by then, you know, I was living out here with a family and ghost hunting in Old House Woods.
Right.
I don't know who was it. I was told that. I think it was the chef of Barrett's.
Gotcha.
Told me, if you want to know about colonial ghosts, don't take that tour. You need to talk to a guy named David Flowers.
Gotcha.
And like I said, that was 11
Good night. Thank
years
you,
ago.
Melissa. Yeah,
Yeah.
11 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been there about that amount of time too. Doing
Yeah.
tours. Yeah.
Never crossed up or anything. I've never met him. I couldn't tell you what the man looked like.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm glad that he's stuck in with it, and it's actually, he's going places with it, you know, because
Right.
a lot of people stopped away from it.
Yeah. Well, I
But
think
yeah,
it's
I'm looking
pretty
forward to I'll take him down to Old House Woods. Bring him down there.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll shove him in the swamp.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
Yeah, we can do that.
Later.
Okay, well, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
All righty.
Bicycle.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, you guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in, even if you caught it the last few minutes. That I'm very appreciative. David, thank you for tuning in. Keith, Melissa, you know, everybody that comes on. Teresa, Cerise, she catches a little bit of it. Quinn, Ashley, Savannah, even though it was a couple minutes. I appreciate you guys. If I missed anybody, John and Anita Savage, you know, I can't always see Steve White, everybody that tunes in. So anyway, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. Thanks again. Next week is open mic night. So that means that you're going to dial in on the Vibe Time with Geri, or excuse me, Vibe Radio Network. I'm going to give it a dial in number, and then you just punch 1 and it'll raise your hand for you. And then that way, if you want to tune in, you can do it that way. So y'all have a great night. And Kimberly, again, thank you. You're good, John. I'm getting ready to get off of the air. I've been on it since 8 o'clock. So this show is recorded, so you can go back and watch it. It's really interesting. We've been talking, Kimberly Moxley and I've been talking about things like parapsychology, different things, Eastern State Hospital, Old House Woods, her event. When you first tune into Vibe Time with Geri, we're talking about an event that she's going to be doing this Saturday at the Hyco House in Mathews, but it's an all ladies event. So the first 10 minutes or so, that's what we're talking about. So just, you know, you can fast forward through that if you want. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for your support.